collar of an ancient Roman slave with the inscription, "Catch me, I escaped. If you catch me and return me to my master Zoninus, you will receive a solidus." 4th century C.E. A solidus was a Roman gold coin. An inscription on the wall, "Mom, Dad, and I come here every day and wait for you." Signed below, "Your son, Slava, during World War II, USSR, 1943." An image symbolizing racial segregation faced by Africans. The floating church of St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker, the only ship in the Russian Empire with a fully functional Orthodox church on board, 1910s. Robin Williams offers a roll of toilet paper to the thinker, 1990s. During the settlement of the western regions of North America, there were mostly men living there. In the photo, 4 men from Montana posted a notice on their house saying they were looking for wives. Early 20th century. A man from Ukraine killed and ate his brother during a period of severe famine. Civil War period, Russia, 1921. When Americans discovered that Native American women considered it improper to have hair on any part of the body except the head, they reacted by calling the practice barbarism and ugliness. Thieves attack a store in the commercial area of Caledonia, Panama City, during the U.S. invasion of Panama, 1989. A severe natural disaster in Brazil in 2009, killing over 600 people. A dog named Leo stayed at his owner's grave for days. A 6-person bicycle racing against a train. In 1896, man often tried to compete with the dawning era of machines. A baseball team of prisoners whose executions were delayed only as long as they kept winning, circa 1910. French cavalry on their way to the front, 1914. This image marks the sunset of the cavalry era as World War I introduced modern mechanized warfare. Between 1971 and 1989, the Aversion Project was implemented in military hospitals in South Africa, which was aimed at eradicating homosexuality. First of all, it is surprising that priests diagnosed the homosexuals. The original quadrober, a strange sight from the USA, 1867. Charles King, president of Liberia in 1927, entered the Guinness Book of Records for the most fraudulent election in history, winning 234,000 votes in a country with only 15,000 registered voters. Reporter interviewing a penguin, 1966. North Korean girls sing a song about Kim Il-sung, 1950. Luftwaffe. Obergefreiter hides his face in shame after surrendering, Belgium, 1945. A donkey saving a donkey, while man kills man. Actress Sophia Loren and her natural beauty in the 1960s. A Chechen woman carries her belongings through the ruins during the conflict between Russia and Chechnya, 1995. A fine receipt for believing in God, USSR, 1974. the office of a slave trader in Atlanta, USA, 1864. Newspaper headlines read on a train to Stamford, Connecticut, the day after John F. Kennedy's assassination, November 23, 1963. Adolf Hitler visits the trenches where he served during World War I as part of the Bavarian 16th Reserve Regiment near Fonels. The Hitler Regiment held this line for 18 months. When Stalin died, the Ukrainian diaspora restaurant in Washington served free borscht March 9, 1953. A 39,000-year-old mammoth carcass. Scientists claim it is so well preserved that its brain remains untouched. A man sentenced to death in a gas chamber, the Westinghouse Electric Company logo on his forehead. USA, 1939. King Alexander I of Yugoslavia refused to participate in any public events on Tuesdays, as 3 members of his family died on that day of the week. Eventually, he decided to put an end to this silly superstition. On one Tuesday, he made an official visit to Marseille and was shot by a terrorist. On May 7, 1954, the U.S. officially refused the USSR entry into NATO. This decision clearly signaled the United States' hostile stance toward the Soviet Union, leading to an arms race and the intensification of the Cold War between the two powers. A white dove lands on Fidel Castro's shoulder during his first televised address to the citizens of Cuba and stays there for the entire 2-hour speech. Havana, 1959. In 1969, a small group of Native Americans occupied the former prison of Alcatraz in protest against human rights violations in the U.S., holding the land they considered Native American for 3 years. The indigenous peoples demanded honesty and respect from the American government for their tribes. Marilyn Monroe, detained for driving without a license, 1954. The Loyalty Dance, a ritual dance symbolizing devotion to the country's leader, Mao Zedong, China, 1967. A heartbreaking photo from 1995, taken in Chechnya. The owners say goodbye to their dog as they leave the combat zone. 80-year-old cannibal Tom, the last cannibal of Fiji Island, 1905. Man in a rooster costume, late 19th century. This before and after photograph shows the devastating consequences of lobotomy. The before photo shows a person full of emotion. The after photo shows the consequences of the treatment. Vietnamese child and his father, accused of aiding North Vietnamese partisans, 1966. Their fate remains unknown. A World War I veteran begs for alms on a Berlin street, 1923. Dr. Joseph Mengele, one of the main war criminals in history, conducted inhumane experiments on people in the Auschwitz death camp. An Aboriginal man photographs his tribesmen on the northern coast of Queensland, Australia, 1929. German soldiers carry the coffin with the remains of Napoleon II, the only legitimate son of Napoleon, Paris, December 1940. Children protest against daylight saving time. It's unfair. They could have played for another hour. New York, USA, 1939. Packed billiard ball sets made from ivory. The billiard craze almost led to the extinction of elephants, as often an entire elephant was killed to make just 5 billiard balls. Listening booths for vinyl records, 1950s. Many music stores offered a special booth where customers could listen to records before buying. The photograph was taken aboard a British ship. These children, just rescued from slavery, 1868. Citizens photograph the body of famous criminal, bank robber John Dillinger, displayed in the morgue for public viewing, USA, 1934. The head of an extinct dodo bird, kept in the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. This is the only preserved head of the extinct animal. Plymouth, Massachusetts police officers salute their service dog, Kaiser, as he is led to the vet clinic for euthanasia. An annual horrifying festival takes place in the city of Yulin in June. The Chinese eat up to 15,000 dogs. The overall statistics are even more frightening. 4 million cats are eaten annually in China. The planes of Angela Merkel, François Hollande, and the rock band Iron Maiden at Zurich Airport. Few know that the first refrigerators were specifically designed to cool beer. The gaze of an emaciated American soldier liberated from a German prisoner of war camp. Limburg, Germany, 1945. Copper band for Catholic schoolboys to prevent sin. France, 1880s. Rapper 50 Cent in 1994. At that time, he was just a 19-year-old thug convicted for drug trafficking. Japanese kamikaze pilots before their final flights, 1945. British and Italian forces clashed in Egypt during World War II, 1940. The Italians won this battle, stabilizing the front for 3 months. A segregationist rally in the U.S., 1961. The crowd chants slogans claiming that racial integration is a form of communism. A postcard, late 19th, early 20th century. USA, 1905. A competition of African Americans who headbutt barrels. Chinese celebrating the successful test of the first atomic bomb. Lop Nur Nuclear Test Site, 1964. People used to be infected with malaria to treat syphilis. The high temperature caused by malaria would destroy the syphilis bacteria, and then patients were cured of malaria. For 5 years, a prisoner in Brazil dug a tunnel to escape, but it led right into the guard room. Trump is a chump. An anti-Trump rally by the Nation of Islam in front of Trump Towers in 1988. 12 Soviet snipers who shot 775 German soldiers during World War II, 1945. Antibiotics were discovered by accident. Alexander Fleming left a petri dish with Staphylococcus bacteria unattended for several days. A colony of mold grew in it and started destroying the bacteria. Fleming then isolated the active substance, penicillin. In World War II, Ireland remained neutral, yet Prime Minister Eamon de Valera and President Douglas Hyde personally expressed condolences to the German ambassador on the death of Hitler. A dancer, behind her an atomic explosion, Nevada, 1950. Technology used in Indian Air Force air parades, 1970. A young woman showing the awful effects of radiation poisoning. Players from the Toronto Maple Leafs and Chicago Blackhawks search for a lost expensive contact lens belonging to Jack Evans. Hennessy Cognac Tasters, 1952. In 1989, the Jack family disappeared after moving to Prince George, where the father took a logging job. After a call saying they had arrived safely, they were never seen again. This remains one of Canada's enduring mysteries. U.S. Vice President Nelson Aldrich Rockefeller gives the middle finger to a crowd of hippies during a public speech, New York, USA, 1976. A Coffin in a Tree in the Taiga, USSR, 1927. Air burial is one of the oldest religious funeral rites. A Soviet soldier chases a man who threw stones at a tank, Poland, 1968. Krista McAuliffe's parents watching the Challenger explode in 1986. Ronaldinho once said, "My father taught me that I needed to learn how to control the ball barefoot to better feel my feet, and I promised him that I would control that ball like no one else. But the truth was, he didn't have enough money to buy me shoes. When I won my first Ballon d'Or, I didn't cry from joy. I cried because I no longer had a father." Joe Matani, a maniac who dismembered bodies, mixed human flesh with animal meat, and made burger patties to serve to customers in his cafe. The most dangerous notebook in the world. It belonged to Marie Curie, and it emits radiation, 1899. Unusual dog transport method, Paris, 1920s. Rescue of a stuffed toy, a teddy bear after the bombing of Liverpool, UK, 1941. High society girls dressed in the latest fashion, Paris, 1910s. John Kennedy just minutes before he was killed, 1963. Jewish children in Auschwitz hold hands as they walk to the gas chamber, unaware of their fate. Classes in a destroyed school, Angola, 1997. Kate Camberley rescued over 600 animals since 1943. She turned her home into a dog shelter and fought officials to protect her animals. Scott Fallman was the first to propose using emoticons as a way to express emotions when communicating online, 1982. Prohibition, men pouring out whiskey, USA, 1931. No, there is no banana there, 1958. Koreans defend their stores during the Los Angeles riots, 1992. Finnish blacksmith Pirtimaki stood in line all night and became the first buyer of a bottle of vodka after the repeal of Prohibition on April 5, 1932. Police photos of 27-year-old John Voigt, sentenced to 20 years for robbing a bank to pay for a sex change operation for his lover, 1972. Poverty in the Victorian era. A crippled polio-stricken match seller survives in London streets circa 1900. Daddy Long Legs. The Underwater Electric Railway, 1897. Firefighters rest in the rubble of the World Trade Center, New York, USA, September 12, 2001. A Japanese soldier adjusts a Chinese man's head before decapitating him. Execution of a prisoner of war, 1938. A snake man entertains other soldiers at the front, France, 1915. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.